I'm a student at Lethbridge College in the Early Childhood Education program. My first assignment for this course is to talk about what I think programs for children ages 2.5 to 5 should emphasize. I wanted to start just by giving a brief little summary of who I am and what my experience with kids are. I started babysitting really young. I was about 9 years old and continued doing that until I was about 20. I had everything from babies to 10 and 11-year-olds. I never really looked at it as a job. I thought I was there to kind of make sure the kids were safe while their parents were gone or at work. So my responsibilities, I looked at household tasks, I looked at caring for the children, but I never really looked kind of beyond that scope. I think we played a lot of video games and went to the park a lot. And it wasn't until I was about 24 that I started to kind of think about children and educating children. And that was actually when I got pregnant. So I had my son, but before that, I took a Montessori program because I was kind of interested in different methods of teaching children, different ways to nurture and help them grow. So I took that. But stayed a stay-at-home mom and had my daughter as well. And it wasn't until very recently that I had to send my kids to a childcare program because I went back to work. So before I start talking about what I think is the most important thing that programs should emphasize, I would like you to meet my two greatest inspirations and have you hear what their thoughts are. What's your name?
Zach.
How old are you?
4.
And where did you go today?
Oh, school.
So you went to daycare.
Yeah.
So tell me, what is your favorite thing about daycare?
Oh, is the best part. I love racing cars down the racetrack.
That's a lot of fun to play. Yeah. What else do you like doing there?
Oh, and I also love doing a line of cars or circle or square.
That's a good idea. Yeah. And do you ever do art?
Oh, I did one art and I did my whole family.
You drew your whole family?
Yes.
That's exciting. And what else do you learn at daycare?
Oh, I learned to speak French.
That's a fun thing, isn't it? So you can talk to Daddy in French.
Mm-hmm.
When you're at daycare, do you feel happy?
Yeah, sometimes I'm bored and I think about something, or I have so much fun on the little cars or bouncy horses.
Oh, that does sound like so much fun. And do you get to go outside?
Oh, yes, but I didn't go outside right now, but last I go outside.
And what do you like to do out there?
Oh, do a big sand castle. I mean the snow castle.
Oh, that's exciting. So you built it with your friends?
Yeah.
Cool. That sounds like so much fun. Are you going back tomorrow?
Yes.
And are you happy about that?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Ada.
How old are you?
3.
No. How old are you?
2.
2. That's right. You're such a big girl. So, you went to daycare today. Did you go? Did you love it? What's your favorite thing about daycare?
Daycare has an apple and a helmet to do it.
You like apples and eating a sandwich? So your favorite part about daycare is lunchtime? That is so fun. And do you like to play? That sounds like fun. And do you like to sing songs?
Yeah.
Can you sing me a song? Okay, you can't do that. All right. My kids pretty much said everything that I was thinking, which is kind of crazy. I mean, you never know how that's going to go when you ask kids their opinions of things. But yeah, I gave a lot of thought to this question, and it's easy to come up with a big list. And so I tried to condense it down to 5 things that I thought were the most important things to emphasize. They're in no particular order, but they are things that I hold very dear to me and dear to my family. So the first I'm going to talk about is encouraging and supporting curiosity and creativity. I think this can be best achieved by taking kids outside, having a really good environment around. So making sure that they're outside, they can see the sunshine, they can ask questions like, where does the snow come from? They can build snow forts. They can look at snowflakes as they're falling. In the summertime, looking for different kinds of bugs and asking questions about why do these bugs come here? What do they do? What do they eat? I think all of that is super important. I think that when you connect kids with the outdoor world, you open up their minds. And to me, that's really important. In terms of creativity, I think that having access to a wide variety of different things like musical instruments, if there can be a keyboard in the class, or music rhythm sticks or maracas, different kinds of things. If the teachers can bring in different kinds of instruments to show the children how they sound, it also opens up their mind and is a way to explore their creativity. Having access to different art supplies like crayons, scissors and cutting, gluing, shapes, paint. I know my daughter loves painting, and it's amazing to see just how their brains kind of connect and how they're able to express themselves. If they're having a bad day, maybe the picture looks a little bit different than when they're having a good day. So I think that all of those are super important. They're things that I always tried to do at home, but in a limited capacity, and since they've been going to daycare, they've had the opportunity to do a bunch more stuff that I probably couldn't have provided. So that's the first: encouraging and supporting curiosity and creativity. The second thing that I think daycares or preschool should emphasize is exposure to language. I love language, books, songs, poetry. I think all of that is wonderful and important. So to have a facility that encourages reading, for the teachers to read to the kids, story time, encourages kids to take books to look at pictures and look at the words. That's important to me. The school that they're at right now is really great. Every time they're about to eat their snack, they have a little song that they sing beforehand. They practice songs. They're written up on the walls so that kids can hear, kids can learn how to speak the words and see the words. That's super, super important to me. Also, something that kind of maybe sets us apart from a lot of different people is that we're in a bilingual household. So to have the option of my children learning French at the school that they go to right now is a wonderful thing. I think that children learn the most in those crucial years, 0 to 5 years old. And if we can expose them to a second language, not only is it going to get the wheels turning, but it's going to set them up for success in the future if they choose to pursue learning a second language, or in my household, they have their dad to speak to, so that's always a good thing. I think language is super, super important, and language development is super important. I think it kind of goes hand in hand with, teaching kids to love words, to love learning, and that really, if you can keep on enjoying learning, then throughout the rest of the years of school, you're going to have a wonderful time, and you're going to find out some really amazing things.
OK. Hey, les amis, est-ce que vous allez à l'école?
Yeah.
Oui. OK. Puis j'ai combien de doigts ici?
You have
Attends. Isaac first.
1, 2, 3, 4, 4.
J'ai 4
Non,
doigts.
non,
Puis
non.
tu ton tour, vas-y.
2, 3, 4, 9.
1.
3,
Non, dis 1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
4.
4. C'est quoi vous faites à l'école aujourd'hui?
We played swimming. Banana. There's
The third thing that I think centers should emphasize is character growth. Character is what defines you, and if kids can learn early on to be a good person, a patient person, kind, tolerant of others, generous, it's a wonderful thing to help them become a beautiful human being. So I think that more places should emphasize that. It helps, in the later years in school, in the workforce, and just in life in general. So it's important to me that my kids go somewhere where they're encouraged to be a good friend, where they help out with classroom chores, to help take initiative, to help have responsibility, as well as helping their younger siblings or a little buddy in their course, in the class, to put on boots or zip up jackets or help so-and-so find their toque, just to learn to be a really well-rounded, helpful individual, as well as a place that encourages and supports good behavior and conflict resolution. Not everyone is always going to have a good day, and so when those bad days come, take the time to understand why the child's having a bad day, and help them work through it and find ways to be able to help themselves to be able to have a better day. That's also very important. The fourth thing that I think that centers should emphasize are good nutrition and movement. I think that the earlier you can start healthy habits, the better. To me, health is super important. Health is wealth. And to be able to have a place where I know that I can trust my children are going to get good nutrition, they're going to learn about where their food comes from, they're going to learn why it's good for them, is a really great thing. For the life of me, I could not get my son to try a tomato. We grew them in our garden, I'd buy them all the time, and he was like, no, I don't want to have anything to do with that. And it wasn't until he went to daycare that the teacher showed him the tomato and got him to try it, and I'll never forget that he came home and he was like, Mom, I love tomatoes, they're so good, I had a tomato sandwich. And I was like, really, a tomato sandwich? Like, did it have cheese on it? Did it have meat? And he's like, no, just tomato, and I ate it. And I was like, okay, that's great. So to expose kids, to a different variety of healthy foods, to show them, why they're good for them, what they do in your body, just to get those healthy habits that start young so that they crave good things instead of sugar, is super important to me. And just kind of going along with that, nothing is sadder to me than children who just watch TV all day. It's not fair to the child, and it's just not that exciting. And so to have, outdoor time so the kids get fresh air and they can run around and they can play and be kids is excellent. To have a gymnasium that they can go into to stretch and move. At the other daycare that my kids were going to, they got to learn how to do some yoga poses so that they could learn how to relax. If they were feeling stressed out, my son got to do some of that, and he showed me some yoga moves, and I was like, that's amazing to show a child and expose them to such different things at such a young age, that are beneficial. So that's also important to me. And the last thing, the fifth thing that I think places should emphasize is play. Children need to be children. I know a lot of the stuff that I kind of listed above sounds like I'm trying to make mini adults or whatnot, but I really do believe in the power of play and how playing can, it can increase imagination and it can increase social skills, and, it can just let the child be a child, which is super important. To have a place that offers a lot of different variety for children to play with. Toys that have different textures, maybe wooden blocks, maybe some metal pots and pans, maybe small little teacups, big things, like just a wide variety of tools so that the kids get a feel for what different things are. In the Montessori approach, it's all based on centers. So small little activities that are very center-based. And that works great for some kids. Maybe just different areas in a classroom. They have like a quiet area and a messy area and a creative area and, a reading area. But just so that the kids have places where they feel that they can express themselves, where they can play, because they learn so much through play. And it's super important that they get that time to just be kids. So there you have it. Those are the 5 things that I think should be emphasized in learning environments for children ages 2.5 to 5. I'm so happy with my kids' experience at their different daycares that they've been to since we started going, and it's just opened my eyes to a wonderful world. Thanks.